It's so peaceful up here. I mean, nobody knows, or didn't used to know we were here. We used to call this house Shangri-La in the clouds. I mean, when you come over the river there, on the bridge, and look along the river bank at this time of the year, and you see all the flowers on the trees and everything, there's one massive blossom along there. And they're just going to bulldoze all that lot.
We thought we were here forever. We thought we were assured that this was always going to be an allotment. Thought this was going to be for life.
There's 84 plots up here, and we got all different ethnic communities up here.
I started gardening about 1948, something like that, I think.
Berries, gooseberries,
onions, garlic, carrots,
swedes,
potatoes,
blackcurrants,
lettuce,
strawberries,
onions, carrots,
Cypriots, West Africans, Caribbean people. You name it, we've got it.
And it's quite a large space for one person to keep digging all year.
Because you can feel all the crumbs and the stones in there. I'll show you what I mean. That's all wet and they're all moisture, and it explains they're fertilised as well, but these ones have got more, what do you call them, more richer soil processes inside. So if I just break it up.
Cool, I think if I had to sit indoors all the week, I think I'd go mental. Couldn't do that. No. As I said, as a kid I used to come over here with my dad. Where you going, Dad? Allotment? Can I come? Yeah, come on then. That was it.
When you put your hands in the soil and you bring out new life, you're just thinking, yeah, and then you eat it.
As I say, after 54 years, the amount of stuff I've put in the ground up here, you can see I've had to raise it, all the edges up to hold the soil,
This fixed we come from Cyprus. The old man he bring from Cyprus, and he got his own garden, and he cut me one small branch, and I put it there 15 years ago. We left Cyprus and we come here. It's 1974. We lost the houses, we lost everything, and so everybody goes somewhere because it was the trouble. So I had a British passport there, and I come here.
Major Villiers, he served in the First World War, and I think he was decorated, and he must have been in the army before that, because there's pictures of him with Winston Churchill. I don't know if they was in the same regiment together, but it's a regimental photograph. Churchill seems to be wearing a different uniform to the others slightly. And after the war, I think he had a sense of noblesse oblige, and he thought the soldiers and the common people were treated roughly and not treated fairly, and he instigated his allotments, and he set them up definitely, I think, in the 20s, and it was reclaimed rubbish dumps. What we're standing on at the moment is London's rubbish, 22 foot deep, and he had this capped, and then there was topsoil brought onto it, and so I'm told it was he who got all the wild plum trees along the bank to sustain the bank, because at the bottom the Lea is running through. We have had a meeting with Phil since then, who was the Friends of the Earth lawyer, and I'm hoping Julia's got the letter from him, because we've asked him to begin to move against the LDA.
Her husband used to run it. She'd just come up occasionally, and then when he died, she took it over. So they do pass on, which is nice. They pass. Albert got his from his dad.
We burrowed our way in and got about 30 doors out. Then we got some plywood from a friend of mine. That's the floor. Underneath the floor is curbstones, which we dug out again, down a dump, all underneath his curbstones, then the floor, then the window. Dennis brought the windows, didn't he? The crittle windows and the doors, but it's mostly old house doors like this.
Bayağı öbür ayağında siz. Yani
orada kalsan şey etsen bunu yapacak. Aslında orada yatıyor. In September 2005 she died. And what was horrible about it was that she died, and you know that was quite sudden. But what I did was came here afterwards, and I sort of went to the vets and picked up the body and took it home, and thought, what do I sort of had the urge to bring her up to the allotments, which was kind of strange. But I thought, no, I can't bury her here because it may be bulldozed, so where am I going to put her? Anyway, I left her at home and thought, well, I'm just going to have some thinking time, and I came up here to the allotments, and of course Hassan and Reg were here, and I sat with them, and they've lost dogs, both of them, at various times, and so I sat and they just fed me with tea and sympathy and let me cry and told me about the dogs they'd lost. And
I'm sure when people are put under a lot of pressure and they feel very suicidal or something, it's a really healthy way to just to come and be and dig and you feel something about connection with you and the planet rather than society and the smoke and the city.
After a good 3 or 4 hours of digging, he said sit down there in the sun, listen to the cricket, the test match was on, particularly the West Indies, and he'd sit there with his special brew, Carlsberg special brew, and the cans would just go down there. Towards the end of the afternoon he was happy.
But letters have been exchanged. I think we've sent one to the LDA. The LDA have replied, and I've also got a reply to the letter asking why they didn't attend our meeting at Hackney Wick. And it's not much to read. I don't know if you want me to read it all.
One bloke owed me about 80 quid for cat food because I was looking after his cat for him up here. So he said, well, I'll give you the money later on. I said, you got a greenhouse up on top of your shed? I said, you ain't bleeding using it? I said, I'll have that. So he said, yeah, all right.
I quite like the smell of cabbage as well, when you get nice fresh cabbage.
I think I practically love everybody. I don't hate nobody.
That's right.
I do know that. I don't hate anybody.
So he said, we want to come in and cut the trees down. So I said, no way you cutting trees down here while we're here. So he said, oh, it's up the back.
We thought we were here forever. We thought we were assured that this was always going to be an allotment due to the Villiers agreement. And a couple of people said to me, I had to have my ashes scattered up here. I thought this was going to be for life.
But the only reason we're upset about having this environment destroyed is all they intend to do with it is put a footpath through it. As I say, I'm not anti-Olympics. If people want to run round in circles on a track for 2 weeks, that's entirely up to them. But as I say, as far as I'm concerned, they're destroying my way of life, and I don't like that.